You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 66. I'm Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnhart.
Now, Comic Reflections is a proud member of the Rhymes with Geek podcast network. You can listen to our show and other cool podcasts like Anti-Fanboy, Real Books Don't Have Batman, and Feed It Comics at rhymeswithgeek.com. So where are we starting with today, Jeff?
Crisis in Triplicate.
Yes, with Justice League of America number 148, Crisis in Triplicate by Martin Pasco and Paul Levitz, with art by Dick Dillon and Frank McLaughlin. Now this is great. It's one of the annual Justice League Justice Society team-ups, but this time they've shoehorned the Legion of Superheroes in as well.
Man, it's a little bit too complex.
It's a lot of characters is what it is. Now let's hit the roll call if you would.
Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Black Canary.
Now that's from the Justice League.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. JSA is Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkman, Power Girl, and Dr. Fate.
And from the Legion, we've got...
Well,
if we just go back to that splash panel, I ID them. We've got Wildfire, Lightning Lad, Ultra Boy, Sun Boy, I think it's Saturn Girl, Brainiac 5, and Shadow Lass.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the roll call, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 blondes.
Well, hey.
Out of 10. So that's kind of although Black Canary is actually a brute.
Yes. It's a blonde wig. Where are you going with this, Jeff?
Just interesting. It's kind of a little bit more than in reality. I don't know how many people are blonde in America, but probably about 10, 20, 30%.
Well, I mean, out of 15 plus superheroes we've got in the story. Also, I think Dr. Fate, his secret identity of Kent Nelson, is also a blonde-haired guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
and Saturn Girl is blonde.
Yeah.
And
I thought that's who you were referring to. Sun Boy's a redheaded guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. It's just interesting.
What can you do? I don't know where you're going with this, man.
Oh, no, I'm just I'm complaining to the gods.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, speaking of blondes, we have Black Canary and Green Arrow are stuck in a
an hourglass?
Hourglass.
Were they placed there by Mordru?
Yes,
the
and
wizard?
They're hanging around Mordru, and they're teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Or is Mordru huge?
I think he's huge because he's like magical and in space and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been messing around with the bell, the jar, and the wheel, which are these magical objects that are used to kind of trap or something the three demons, Wrath, Abnegazar, and Gast. Mm-hmm. And these three guys appeared in an early Justice League adventure where they were released by Felix Faust and unleashed upon the League and the world. So, but anyway, the bulk of the story is really what they're up to and their plans for conquest on three different two different time periods and two different Earths.
Right. One wants to conquer Earth. One wants to destroy it. And I'm not sure what the other one wanted.
Because just to keep it straight for those who don't know, we've got Earth 1 and Earth 2 are in play here, as well as the Earth 1 in the 30th century, which is, of course, where the Legion are from.
Okay.
Not at all complicated.
Yeah.
This is really a lot of fun, and it's cool to see all these characters together. But to make a long story short, the three demons end up pitting these three super teams against each other for I can't remember what purpose.
Oh, okay. They're fighting the three demons, and they say, "Oh, well, we're equal in power, so."
That's right. They use these super teams as champions. They're surrogates. Proxies. Thank you. And I think is it the members of the JSA who are not entirely under the control of the demons? Was it the Justice Society or the Leaguers?
I forget.
Oh,
sorry.
Good.
Oh, yeah. We have a Twinkie alert.
Oh,
with the Joker.
yeah,
It
he's
is
got a
kind of
couple
cool.
of Hostess fruit pie ads. Yeah.
Hmm. But they find he pretends he's a clown, ironically, and, and he starts shooting. Looks like spitballs,
It's
but
a
they're
blow dart.
blow darts. But they don't work because they knew he was not a real clown because he doesn't like Hostess Twinkies. So he is crazy.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's the circus performers got wind of his plan already and they swapped his poison blow
Hmm.
darts with harmless ones,
Yeah.
which kind of paints the Joker in a very ineffectual light.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of they would never do this now, but they don't do this now. But
Yeah, I wish they would bring him back.
that'd be interesting to see them. The new.
I want to see a trade paperback that collects all of these Hostess ads because they're so much fun,
Someone.
and there's so many of them.
Yeah. I think someone was talking about the last Superman. No, the last Spider-Man movies. I'd rather watch a movie made from the Twinkie ads.
Man,
That's kind of harsh, but
the most recent Spider-Man movie?
yeah,
Oh, I thought it was fine.
I thought it was okay. But it came on TV and I was watching, and I says, "Who's the villain?" Oh yeah, it's that guy.
The Lizard, yeah.
And I said, "Man, I don't remember anything of this. It's sort of." This,
Maybe you have Alzheimer's. I mean, I don't know.
well, I do probably. So
Yeah, I shouldn't joke about that. My grandfather has Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and the next page we have an in-house ad for the first Superman dollar comic, and it has Luthor and Brainiac killing Superman, and I just love the expressions on their face
as they're
so
shaking
happy.
hands and they're so excited that they've killed Superman.
Yeah, and they're buff too.
Yeah.
They're as buff as Superman, although they're not made out of. They're not Men of Steel, but.
Right.
I don't know. They just seem nicer villains back then, even villainous as they are.
It's so funny. Especially you go back to like the Silver and Bronze Age. Luthor and Brainiac had this wonderful kind of like friendship,
Mm-hmm.
But although I think if they teamed up to kill Superman together and they were successful, I think they would still. One of them would be angry or especially Luthor, because he was having to share that victory with someone.
Yeah.
So, but I would love to dig that up and find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how many pages does it say it is?
The longest Superman solo story ever. 80 pages.
Well, the comic itself is 80 pages, but the story
63.
is 63. So there's backups too. I'd like to find that Superman spectacular or whatever dollar comic, because I think it's a fun read. Plus, Luthor and Brainiac team ups are always great.
Mm-hmm. I've never read a Luthor I didn't like.
I never read a Brainiac story I didn't like.
And that's true, but I haven't read that many Brainiac stories.
Well, we've got some coming up, I think, because our Superman block is coming up again, and that'll go on. I think it's maybe a couple months out, but that'll go on for months because I got a big pile of Superman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but back to our main story. It's just a battle royale between the Legion of Superheroes, the Justice Society, and the Justice League, and what's going on?
Man, there's no
Dr.
way.
Fate's doing some great stuff too.
Yeah, and everybody's fighting pretty good. I don't know how to explain this.
It's really tough.
It is action packed.
Yes, it is a great read, but maybe not the most the easiest one to give a synopsis of.
Yeah,
which is good. You could dig this issue out, and it'll be relatively spoiler free.
Right. Yeah, and I like superheroes fighting each other. It's kind of cool, but this is almost too much.
It's such a Marvel Comics cliche, and it's interesting to see when DC do it, because it's not a common thing for them. So I think it's more of a treat.
Mm-hmm.
If you go read a Marvel comic, it's anytime superheroes meet for the first time, they fight.
Right. Forgot who this guy is.
Oh, that's Wildfire.
Wildfire. Kind of angry at Superman in real life or something.
Well, he's angry in general because, he doesn't have a physical body. He's made of energy, and that his costume is this containment suit.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty peeved if I didn't have a physical body either.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think at this time he's the leader of the Legion too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Power Girl, who is
I think at the time the newest member of the Justice Society.
yeah.
Great character.
Yeah, she is not as exposing as she
Oh,
later
the window in her costume kind of I think came later, but
but she's still Baba Babuni.
yeah.
Oh, man! It just kind of here's Superman gets hit with a black inky substance
Oh, that's
from the shadow.
Shadowless.
Cool.
Because she creates like
Yeah.
absences of light or whatever.
Very cool panel.
Yeah.
And the blam, which is what the
sound effect is.
Sound effect is, and it's really well done.
Yeah.
Man, they go all over the place. They go to this ice city and they're trying to save it, and oh man. But they figure out that some of them are less susceptible because they're older and wiser or something.
Yeah, so the Justice Society are able to gain the upper hand and kind of defeat these demons and kind of snap some of their friends out of it. And they, I can't remember which demon it is. I think it's Abnegazar or Wrath or Gast. I don't know which one.
I seem to lose. What happened to the other one? They're fighting against one demon at the end, and
yeah,
I'm not sure did the other demon get knocked out, or what happened to the other two? I don't know.
Well, and it's tough because they look almost identical to each other with a few minor things, like one is covered in spots and one has a mohawk, but other than that, they're just these three big pink guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Man,
but everything works out, and Earth 1 and Earth 2 are saved, as is the 30th century. So.
In case you were worried.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It's nice seeing those people. Actually, I wish a lot of times, especially with Justice League and Justice Society, they had this huge plot, and they could go 3-4 editions or issues with it, and then it might make it easier to read because so much happens.
And usually these stories are 2 or 3 parts.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens that a lot of them we have like one of those issues, so we're just.
I think that could be longer.
Yeah, it could go on for a while because there's so many characters and it's a very complicated plot. It's like, boy, if you were just coming in on this issue, you'd be lost. It's definitely for somebody who's regularly reading the book. Right,
and it's ironic that we're confused over a comic book. But we're not confused, but we are stymied by the complexity of the plot.
when I'm reading it, it's fine, but trying to explain it is not always the much.
Yeah.
So, but moving on, we've got a very exciting issue to talk about. It's Justice League of America number 190, and the story is called Our Friends, Our Enemies, and it's written by Jerry Conway with art by Rich Buckler, Bob Smith, and Larry Malstead. Yeah. And this is great because it's the Justice League against the first super menace they ever faced. Starro the Conqueror has returned.
I had that somewhere.
Yeah, and it's an issue of
not the original.
Well, right, a reprint. But yeah, it's an issue of Showcase, and I just can't remember the number right now. Somebody who's that's one of the things. I'm not like I don't usually like make a big note of it was this issue. Usually I need to like write it down.
Yeah.
But I remember it was their first adventure together. So who is in the league at this point? We've got Elongated Man, The Flash, Hawk Girl and Hawkman, Aquaman, Zatanna, Batman, and then I think Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Red Tornado. Oh no, Superman, Black Canary, and there's Firestorm. Yeah.
Who's that guy?
That's Red Tornado.
Red Tornado. Okay.
Yeah. And I was wrong.
I'm still not used to his new costume yet. So.
I like his new costume.
I do too.
It's his classic one. But that's right. I don't think Martian Manhunter is in this. He hasn't returned yet.
Okay. The plot of this is there's a flotilla heading towards New York, and they're going to destroy it because Starro has taken over the superheroes in there and the population, which is good as reason as any to destroy New York.
Well, right. And for those who don't know, Starro the Conqueror is this giant starfish from space. And he makes... Yeah, I know.
He said that straight. Straight face.
Well, listen, let me finish. Thank you. I've had practice at this. And And Starro enslaves people by putting miniature duplicates of himself on their faces. And then he feeds off of, I think, electricity.
Mm-hmm.
He uses these slaves to, find sources of energy for him to siphon off and feed himself, and then he can produce more duplicates.
Yeah.
So it's very Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of a thing that he's got going on.
Apparently, it all started. A boy was fishing, and he got a part of Starro, and started.
Sure. Well, and you know how starfish, they regenerate, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the military, they are lying in wait to kind of destroy
And
Starro.
they give him 24 hours.
Yeah, they give the League are like, give us time to do this, which
Not
is
that
cool.
they're going to do it in 24 hours, but they allow them to go in, which that would be a mistake in real life. So this really happened.
You think?
And you don't want Starro to get out of New York. You would destroy it immediately.
Yeah, but if there's the League, have a track record of saving the world from super menaces.
If there is no League or any superheroes.
Oh, then yeah, absolutely. But
they're going to stop. They're going to wait, regardless of superheroes or not. They're planning to kill the store that at a certain time, and
right, because
about 24 hours, which and they don't. Oh, y'all want to go in? Okay, but it's not like it's.
Well, I don't know if you were in a real life situation where it's like, well, if we can't find a way to stop this, we have to blow up New York. I think you would hold out as long as possible.
If you had any idea how to stop it, but they don't have any idea. They're just sending in superheroes. In real life, we would not have superheroes. We would just have this creature. And if we wait, it's going to expand over the boundaries and take over the world.
Well, right.
So.
And it makes me think of The Thing or The Crazies. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's pretty cool. So the problem is there's superheroes inside New York, and you got Superman and
Firestorm and Green Lantern are all slaves of Starro and Wonder Woman. And these are the League's heavy hitters.
Yeah.
The Red Tornado has got a duplicate on his face, but he's able to escape because Starro didn't know that he was a robot. And so, from on the inside...
Stupid alien.
Well, yeah. Stupid starfish. Yeah. I think Batman and Hawkman are able to create these things that will repel the Starro's duplicates that they wear on their chest so that they won't get infected. And what's Aquaman up to?
Well, he's checking out everything, and he sends his fish out, and they come back and they say there's these evil people on the boats coming out. So they're trying to break out of the city already.
Oh, and so Aquaman stops them.
Yeah.
Good. See, Aquaman is useful.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
He's kicking butt. Come on.
Yeah. I think it was a time in the undersea, and it still has some of that romance, but it was really because scuba diving wasn't invented until World War II. So this is a recent phenomenon. And so under the sea was a magical, amazing. Now it's kind of commonplace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, but not like it was. Same thing with space.
Well, it's interesting. Remember how, we have read so many Silver Age stories from DC that are not Aquaman stories, where a bathysphere is used in the story for something. A lot of Superman stories, and I think Sea Devil stories and stuff too. And yeah, so there must have been a big fascination with undersea exploration.
Understandable, but it was like, well, it's just we watch so much now, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
And like the moon landings, the whole world watched the first one, the third one, people really didn't care.
Yeah, like, okay, they've been to the moon already. But there's nothing, they're not going to mine it, they're not going to colonize it. It's like, okay, it's...
They're going to find alien, they're not going to die horribly. So,
yeah, it's like you could have just gone to like the middle of New Mexico and there's nothing, just and saved your trip. But anyway, I don't know. I don't really get all the negative stuff heaped on Aquaman. People don't give that to Prince Namor, the Submariner.
He's kind of a jerk, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But Aquaman is kind of a goody two shoes, and he talks to fish, and that's the problem. And
well, Namor can control fish too.
Talking to Fish is Dullsville, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah. You see this house ad on?
I did.
Oh, Commissioner Gordon talks to Batman about the impending problem of not enough Batman comics. So Batman goes and visits this. What's her name?
It's
Carol Fine.
Carol Fine, yeah, and she worked in the DC Comics offices at that time. I looked her up on the internet. And sure enough, this is a real person. I think she was Jeanette Kahn's secretary at one point. So.
Okay. So she says, "Well, get subscriptions, and then they could just make more." This was
right.
This is going to be a super problem.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody says, "Come up with a house ad."
Right.
So they have to create a problem or whatever. So if they're going to do it like this,
I'm having fun with it. So
well, good.
Sort of, a nice picture of her. So
yeah.
Well, but they're fighting against these minions of
Starro.
And Starro is taking over a power station, and so they destroy the power. The good guys destroy the power station.
Yeah, Red Tornado and Hawkman and Hawkgirl. I think they take that out, and of course that causes problems for Starro because he needs energy.
Right. And Batman is caught. They take off. They're wearing masks, and then they take them off for some stupid reason.
What masks?
Didn't they have masks? I thought they had masks that looked like the Starro mask.
No, Red Tornado had one on and took it off because remember that it doesn't really affect him. Nobody else on the team.
Okay, all right. I must have been drunk when I read it. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, were you?
No.
Okay.
But Black Canary sees Batman, and
they have a fight.
Yeah, not a bad one.
Nope.
But trying to take off the mask will almost kill.
Yeah, the duplicate. Let's make that clear. So they've got to find another way to get the mask.
And the boy who found Starro in the first place ran into Freezer
to hide.
Yeah.
And they found out cold will kill Starro or, stop the duplicates. So that's what they do. I think, doesn't Zatanna cast some kind of cold spell or something on him?
They all do. Or whoever can. Because, let's see.
Oh, and Firestorm, he can transmute all kinds of elements. So he probably just creates ice and freezes Starro. And then I think they use cold to remove the Starro duplicates from the enslaved folks.
Green Lantern and Firestorm, so they both zap the crap out of them.
Yay! So Starro is defeated. Yay! Yeah, that's a fun issue. I like that one a lot. Yeah. One more Justice League, and this wraps up our block of Justice League stuff we've been doing for several weeks. This is Justice League of America number 210, and the story is When a World Dies Screaming. Written by Jerry Conway, with art by Rich Buckler and Romeo Tangle.
What a cool name that is.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But what's the roll call?
Okay, Aquaman, the Atom, the Batman. The Batman?
Yeah. I don't know, the Batman? People would refer to him as that, but not all the time, but sometimes.
Elongated Man, the Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Hawkman, Phantom Stranger, Red Tornado, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
You think they have enough people on this team?
Yeah, and they're in alphabetical order this time.
Oh, yes, they are. Okay.
Nice cover.
A splash panel?
Yeah,
I like it. That's really fun. Okay, so...
Oh, yeah, okay. There's Element X, and someone's taking it out of the Earth, and it's destroying things.
And it's causing lots of disasters and stuff. And so the League are like troubleshooting, trying to stop these disasters and, the source of it. So I think the Atom discovers that this is happening, and he goes to the Justice League satellite and tells the League, hey, we got this big problem. And so it's these aliens that are removing it from our Earth.
Yeah.
And it's for money. They need that element, and they're gonna go sell it to some other planet, right?
Yeah.
Or is it they were gonna remove it so they could conquer Earth easily?
We'll get to that.
Okay. I'll just let you go.
So, they zap the Earth in different places and causes different things. Um, One place, the airliners start flying out of the air in London. It gets frozen, so Superman has to dig up some sand to make a lens, the huge lens,
Oh yeah,
quartz
yeah.
lens. No, glass.
Yeah, if you melt sand, it turns into glass. I get it. That's cool.
Hmm.
I liked how Wonder Woman came in with the invisible jet and saved that plane that was going to crash.
Right. Um, I see someone else. They can't. They're without. Oh, elongated man stops a runaway train.
Oh
And,
yeah, he and the
oh,
Flash too. Yeah.
and then X element stopped oxygenation in plants in Africa. So Green Lantern comes and solves that. And then the water is sucked up into the out of the ground in China.
Doesn't Batman you put seed clouds from the bat plane and causes it to rain?
Yeah, and Aquaman. This proves my.
No, you're wrong.
He gets sponges and has birds come up with sponges, and he takes them up into the atmosphere and drops water down.
What? He's the king of the seas. He can do that stuff. If he can control all the sea creatures, why wouldn't he use it? I thought it was good. It was he and Hawkman. That's right, because Aquaman uses the sponges to soak up seawater, and then has Hawkman control birds and fly the sponges out to put out like fires or something, right?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, what else? We got forgot what happened in this place. I think it was the air the pollution was stuck down and they couldn't breathe, so they sucked it up.
Oh, the red
pollution?
tornado uses it.
Yeah.
It's some kind of thing.
Yeah.
It don't matter. But so there's all kinds of disasters happening. Okay, and the League are trying to solve these. But these aliens.
So what are the aliens' name? Andy Capp makes a show in here.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, Andy Capp and his wife. And
Flo?
Yeah.
Is
And
it Flo?
I think so. And I think it's right. It was,
Yeah, okay. And I mean, it's obviously just kind of a wink, wink, but it's totally Andy Capp.
Yeah, it's down. There he is.
Yeah. Yep. Now,
And,
gosh, I used to really like that comic strip.
did too.
I haven't seen it in years because we haven't had it in Oregon in our papers.
I always thought the way he drew beer in the glass is I don't know. Look, is this a few cross lines?
And I can't
in it?
believe that comic strip went on for decades, and it was just like Andy Capp getting drunk and his wife being mad at him.
Mhm.
Was it every week?
Yep.
But yeah,
And did it come from England or was it someone? I don't.
I don't really know.
I need to wiki that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of so. The spaceship comes to London.
Mhm.
Oh, it knocks down the Big Ben.
Oh yeah.
I'll be darned. Sergeant Rock playsets. We talked about these before.
No, we haven't. Remco Toys. And this is another advertisement. Remco Toys in the 80s had, well, Sergeant Rock toys, and they were just kind of like G.I. Joe sized.
Cool.
And there was lots of cool military playsets, like sandbags with the BAR rifle behind it, and raft, and stuff like that.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So okay. So the what are they? They traders or something like that. They want to
The aliens.
the aliens want weird stuff like snow from Mount Everest and sand from Sahara.
Oh, that's right. They're blackmailing the League into giving back Element X.
No, the Earth, UN, and UN is asking for the League to go.
Okay,
and,
same difference.
yeah, the same. No, not quite.
Yeah, but
So-
they use the League to procure these items because they seem odd and valueless here, but these aliens are traders in space, and so they will use these commodities that's valuable.
But why do all this stuff? I mean, they could have just, hey, we're aliens. Can we have this stuff? And people would have given it to them.
Well, maybe, or maybe that's their whole method is no, we instead of asking, we cause them to make them give it to us for whatever reason. Come on, it gives us a reason to have a story.
Oh yeah, but there's some holes.
Okay.
Um.
So it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, so we don't know.
Yeah, but there's this guy.
There's a subplot, yeah.
Yeah, they want this dude, George Arthur Stewart, and no one knows why.
Yeah, you'll have to find out. Justice League of America number 211.
Send us a note.
Yeah. So, moving on. We've got dug up a comic book from the Golden Age, and this is Marvel in the 50s was known as Atlas Comics, and we've got Man Comics number 9 from 1951, and it's kind of an interesting anthology book of crime and war and Western stories and different things like that. So the lead story is called The Weakling, with art by Robert Q. Sale. What do you remember about this story?
Oh, this guy Eddie's a coward, so this banker makes him do crime, and it's some of the stupidest crimes of all time.
But he sets his kid up to be like the fall guy for him, and he blackmails
sends him in
him.
his car.
Yeah.
So, like, the policemen are going to follow the guy to the and then he's going to, I guess he thinks, well, the kid did all the crime, and I'm innocent. And like, that's going to happen. And it's sort of, for crying out loud.
I mean, I bought it first for the story. I mean, so it didn't work for you.
No, I mean, it was okay. But no. Simply because I see a hole in the story doesn't mean that I don't like it or don't enjoy it. I mean, there's lots of holes in James Bond films, and I like them fine.
Sure.
So, there's holes in every story.
Well,
and
sure.
Real ones. But, well, what can we say except he gets his courage back and then shoots, but is shot by the bad banker, who, in all the excitement, has a heart attack.
Right.
And so he's killed by Eddie after all.
Yeah, wasn't it that Eddie fired the shot and it was rigor mortis from him dying?
Oh yeah, it was.
And I thought that was really weird that the rigor mortis made him pull the trigger.
Yeah.
That was the part that I thought that was so unbelievable.
Yeah, although I guess it could happen, but you wouldn't be holding with your limp. You're going to, I guess.
If he fell, wouldn't it probably fall out of his hand? He would have had to have a death grip on the thing already.
You can have a death grip on it, but then why didn't he?
He did get shot. Yeah, it's shaky.
Actually, I didn't even see the bang or something like that. I thought he had a heart attack. So.
Okay.
But I'll be darned. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a Fight Fever. It was a good little written story.
Oh, we usually skip over these text stories that we find in comics.
This one is not worth skipping over.
Oh, I didn't read it, so please tell me about it. You even found this enjoyable.
This boxer comes in to the dentist, and he's got a bad tooth, and the dentist fixes him. And this boxer, Slugger, has a glass jaw. Everybody knows about it. So yes, the dentist comes by the big fight, and so the dentist comes by, and this guy's saying, bet you 10-1 against him because he's got a glass jaw. The dentist knew that he had put cocaine in his jaw, so Slugger wins
because he was high on dope.
So then, and then next time, Deaden's a pain.
Dead as a pain. So that's how. So he could like handle it in the fight.
Yeah.
See, drugs can improve your life, kids.
Right.
That's the moral of the story.
Well, no, but so Slugger comes back and wants more cocaine, and it says, "Well, this is against the law." And I said, "Well, I want to beat you up." So he gives him a shot, and then he goes into the fight and he gets his butt kicked because the doctor only put water in his. So. And that's the story. Kind of cool. Then we had this ad for the Popsicle Twins.
Okay.
And they find Indian treasure with the skeletons and all that. And how swell. Okay. But Popsicle Pete is super manic looking.
Okay.
He looks like a band leader.
Oh, okay.
A marching band leader.
Yeah. So the next story we've got to talk about in this is a war story. It's called The Saga of Sergeant Smith. And it's a pretty good story, but the greatest thing about it is it's got art by Gene Colan.
Oh.
And it's really interesting. It's really before he developed his signature style. It's a really interesting look at his work in the Golden Age. It's vastly different.
Yeah. This is this is Sans Iwo kind of ripoff. But,
okay. I haven't seen that movie.
It's a true story, but I'm sure it happened all the time. So
sure.
A sergeant's really mean and nasty, and everyone hates him in boot camp.
Yeah.
And then they leave to go to war, and they're happy they're going to war because they're getting rid of the sergeant. And then they get to war, and here comes the sergeant again. So. And
then the guys that hated him actually ended up saving his life, and then they were glad.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, sergeant says so. They understand that he was hard because he had to be.
Right.
Men, so.
Yeah. Well, this is called Man Comics. It's all about being macho and masculine or whatever.
Yeah. Badly drawn tanks. I don't like that.
Well, sorry. Let's complain to Gentleman Gene from beyond the grave.
Yeah. Kind of a not much war going on or something. I don't know.
It was kind of a talky story. That's true.
Yeah.
So the next story is a Western, and it's called The Legend of the Waco Kid, with art by Paul Reinman, who, if you recall, when we looked at Justice Traps the Guilty, those Golden Age crime comics, he did the art on several of those stories among them. So fairly prolific in the Golden Age. I know he did a lot of stuff for Atlas, and I'm sure some other comic houses too.
This is kind of a takeoff. I call them ripoff is a bad name. I mean, they're just using the plot of Man Who Shot Liberty Balance, which is a wonderful movie.
Okay.
Lee Marvin, John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart.
You had me at Lee Marvin.
So this guy is...
Wait, how old is that movie? Because this is 1951.
It's around that time.
Okay.
Sorry. Man, Lee Marvin plays a great bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's a title character.
Yeah. I don't really remember...
No. He's kind of the subject of the title character.
Okay.
He's not the man who shot Liberty Balance. He is Liberty Balance.
Oh.
So Jimmy Stewart is the man who shot Liberty Balance. But not really.
Okay. I'll have to see it.
It's more complicated. So. Oh man, the Waco Kid is following these people, and he's actually he's helping out against this big nasty rancher, and so the Waco Kid comes out and helps, and this guy and his son doesn't want to.
They're brothers. The guy and his younger brother. Yeah.
He doesn't want to help him Waco Kid, but the younger brother does, and
he starts idolizing him. But Waco Kid is an owl hoot. He's kind of an outlaw, and the older brother ends up having a fight with him or something like that, and blah blah blah. It turns out Waco Kid is the elder brother of the three of them, and blah. And the younger brother, learns that Waco Kid was bad and. Decides not to follow in his footsteps.
But they have a showdown at the end. And the younger brother apparently shoots him, but then he's told, "Oh, your guns were blank." But then in the end, we found out that he did shoot him, so he didn't want that on his conscience. Right.
The older brother told the lie, so the little brother would think that he would not think that he had killed a guy. So. So
the last one is the Plunge, and it's kind of
an era. What do you call it? It's about pilots
or skydivers.
Yeah.
And these two guys, and they rib each other, but they go
aviators. That's it. Yeah, they were in the war together, right?
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. The guy seems not really angry and beats the other guy up for making fun of him.
Because he got caught in a tree when he parachuted one time in the war.
Yeah, and the other guy shoots a Nazi about to shoot him. I mean, that's something you laugh off. So
yeah, but
maybe I don't know.
But I think they become rivals over this chick too, and that's kind of part of it. Right. So the guy's pride is injured, and so he tampers with the guy's chute. But then he ends up the bad guy ends up using the chute that he tampered with, and so he
Right.
dies.
So he's got the death chute.
Yeah.
I like that. But, okay.
Well, that's
The
a
last story
quick
wasn't-
retribution for someone with murder in their heart. So I'm pretty excited to talk about these next few comics. We've got about 4 issues of Man-Thing to talk about. Starting with Man-Thing number 3, Day of the Killer, Night of the Fool, written by Steve Gerber, with art by Val Mayerick and Jack Abel on inks.
Yeah. Man-Thing.
Yeah.
He comes up against that what is it? Schleif?
Schist.
Shift. Okay.
F.A. Schist. Yes.
Schist.
Fascist.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's
Oh. Duh.
Come on, we've had this before.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back when we were reading Giant Size Man-Thing.
Right.
That one where the Fantastic Four were in it, remember? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so Man-Thing beats up all the. Oh, it's.
These construction guys are laying a trap for him or whatever, and Man-Thing beats them up.
And Man-Thing don't play.
No.
So we see Richard Rory, which we will see in every stupid episode.
Richard Rory is our POV guy that because Man-Thing isn't really exactly a person, so he's got to have a human friend that actually talks and stuff. Richard Rory is important to the
he's
stories.
important, but not in a good way.
Okay.
So Richard Rory had these problems with these bikers, and one of them's named Darby, which I think is from maybe Kim Darby, who was in the movie Born Losers, which was Tom McLaughlin's first film.
Oh, it's Tom McLaughlin from hang on, don't tell me. Billy Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just died like last week.
Mm-hmm. So
it wasn't me. I was here the whole time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in town that day.
Yeah.
But Darby was the girl.
Ironically, he died by a roundhouse kick to the face.
Wouldn't be something if he
Well, if you've seen any parts of the Billy Jack, that's like his thing.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Born Losers was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun than the hippie Billy Jack thing.
I'll have to check it out. So.
Mm-hmm. So Mr. Rory and makes friends with the bikers. They're trying to kill him a little bit ago. And they let the bikers go and say, I forgot to ask for gas.
So he's stranded in the swamp again. But the bikers are accosted by this jackass, the Fool Killer, who kills fools.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the story behind this guy.
This is his first appearance.
And what's he supposed to look like? Looks like a cavalier, but
he's got this goofy Zorro hat with a stupid sash, and he's got a disintegrator gun, and cool, and he's a complete weird religious nut, like in the bad way, and it's totally speaking to weird things that were happening in the 70s. I mean, you had the late great Planet Earth, and you had you had the movie A Thief in the Night, and you had other just creepy.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's like it's an end timey put the fear in you apocalypse crap. So I think the Fool Killer is a character that's kind of speaking to the times in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
He sees himself as an instrument of God's wrath or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and so he's using this disintegrator gun to just kill people that he thinks are fools.
Yeah, he gives these cool cars although. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that's really stupid. Fool Killer, E pluribus unum. From many one?
I don't know.
What does that have to do?
Look, he's crazy.
You have 24 hours to live. Use them to repent, or be forever damned to the pits of hell, where goeth all fools. Today is the last day of the rest of your life. Use it wisely, or die a fool. So
he gives this card to F.A. Schist, who is wanting to trap and destroy the Man-Thing, because I guess the Man-Thing's gotten away of his developing stuff in the swamp. and then
yeah, he desecrates the swamp. So
right, and the Fool Killer is after he's looking for the guy who became the Man-Thing, and I forget Ted Sallis. That's right.
And he's looking for Richard Worry too, I think.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he sees a helicopter after he warns everybody, and he says, "Oh, FA is trying to get away," and so he shoots him down. But it's actually a helicopter that is ferrying people who just were in a disaster.
Right. It had nothing to do with that. Yeah. So the Fool Killer knows he's made a mistake.
He feels bad for it, but he doesn't help him.
Right.
But Salas, the Man-Thing, does.
Yeah.
So Fool Killer feels bad that he's... This is a great 2-page panel.
Oh, it's a big splash with the Man-Thing rescuing these people and fighting off these big alligators. It's great.
Absolutely beautiful. The alligators are great. The green of them is gorgeous. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, so he kills Man-Thing at the end. So.
Well, but not really, because the Man-Thing can't really be destroyed. But it'll continue on the next issue, which we don't have. But Fool Killer makes a couple of appearances throughout this series, and then he shows up. He shows up with Spider-Man, whatever.
Yeah.
So where are we at?
Death Watch.
Yes, Man-Thing number 9, Death Watch, written by Steve Gerber, with art by Mike Plug and inked by Frank Chiaramonte. I liked this issue.
It was kind of interesting. I like the font of Death Watch.
Yeah. Oh, and I just
made out of molten something.
Or
a molten candy corn or something. It's just wonderful. That'd be a great font. You should have Warner sponsor you that.
Oh yeah, Warner Pacific College. That's funny.
I didn't notice his signs. Days worked chewing tobacco. I don't know. Does that mean that's all they do is chew tobacco?
Show me, look at it. Okay, Jeff's talking about this shack that this hag and her man live down in the swamp. I think it's just an advertisement that she's patched a hole in the roof with, like a sign. Days work chewing tobacco.
Okay, that's
whatever.
Yeah, that must be it.
Okay.
So, you're wise in a way. So.
In a way. In the ways.
In the ways of Rock Stupid Hillbillies. Oh, she's I guess, I don't know. They're swamp people and they're apart, and she's really mean and nasty.
Especially this sweet old dog.
Yeah.
But she gets sick because she sees the Man-Thing and has a heart attack. And then her man comes out to shoot Man-Thing, and then his shotgun doesn't have any effect.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he's going to go into town to get a doctor for her, and then encounters like demon-possessed trees and alligators and crap, and the Swamp Thing. Damn it, I did it too. Man-Thing fights this possessed tree, which is awesome.
It is cool, and when
it looks like the apple trees in The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, it does. Very well, very mean looking.
Yeah. And so there's some evil spirit or something in the swamp that's possessing these things.
They always kind of put a face on an evil tree, or a good tree too, I guess.
Yeah,
if it's a nice tree. And
all right, let's sing it. HR Puffin Stuff, where you go when things get rough. Can't do a little because you can't get enough, something like that.
Oh, I have totally forgotten it.
Oh, okay.
It's been 40 years, dude.
Oh man,
I forget something I was told yesterday. Oh, but it looks cool. But they always have a face.
Sure.
And they can't just be an evil tree with no face.
Well, right.
And why not? Trees can be scary looking.
Sure, some gnarled old dead tree. So the demon or the evil spirit possesses its alligator, and then Man-Thing has to fight that too.
Red cloud goes around.
Yeah.
It goes an alligator, and then it goes into skeletons.
Yeah.
And then it goes into...
Oh, there's a great 2-page splash where the swamp guy is like cornered by these skeletons coming up out of the swamp, and the Man-Thing is coming around the corner to help him, but man, it is rad.
They were escapees from the chain gang.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this ad for Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Marvel had Planet of the Apes comics that they had going for a few years, and I've read them a little bit. They're pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So, Man-Thing beats up these skeletons, and then the miss goes to these snakes. Then the next one is nobody dies forever. So,
so I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but this is a cool issue. The next issue is probably really fun to read too.
Yeah, Dance to the Murder.
Well, I meant the following that story.
Yeah, yeah.
But the next issue we've got is Man-Thing number 11. So we have a gap, but we don't have number 10. But yes, Dance to the Murder with written by Steve Gerber again, with art by Mike Plug and Frank Chiaramonte.
Oh.
So we go back to our friend, Man-Thing's friend, Richard Rory.
I'll deal with him later.
Oh my gosh, what do you want to start this with?
No, not right now, not.
Okay.
So he's going off. He loses his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because of this fool killer and this other guy within this other guy. And
yeah.
He's a sad sack.
Yeah.
But so
that's what we should read. We should read Sad Sack on this show.
That would be cool. I've read Sad Sack.
Yeah, as have I.
And he sees a ballerina running through, and he doesn't believe his eyes. So.
Yeah.
So he chases her, and she beats the crap out of him.
Oh, now I remember what happened in this issue. Okay, she's being pursued by these guys in these weird masks, and it's very whatever the people that kidnapped Patty Hearst.
SLA.
Like. Oh.
Siamese Liberation Army.
Yeah. Okay. That's right.
Yeah, and apparently they. She looks fetching. I didn't know ballerinas wore fishnet stockings.
Her costume looks like black canaries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the long and the short of it.
Right.
So.
And.
Which is a great costume. So yay.
Yeah. So she's kidnapped and she runs away because she has some really strong legs.
These guys are like anarchists or something.
Yeah, what are they? They're the demons of liberation.
Oh man, yeah. So it's totally an analogy of the SLA.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
it's DOL. So
yeah.
So one of them. So here comes Man-Thing, and he gets attacked by one of them. They throw a grenade, and the grenade
explodes
and kills the guy who threw it.
Yeah, because it doesn't do anything to Man-Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard Rory takes the guy's mask off, and I think is it later?
Later.
Okay, never mind.
Oh.
But those guys are continuing to pursue Richard Rory and the girl, and Man-Thing is duking out with these guys in the swamp. And the reveal is that these guys were all in Nam, and they were disfigured by Agent Orange or stepping on landmines or whatever. Mm-hmm. And when they got home, they couldn't get jobs or whatever or anything like that. And so their whole gang was kind of in protest of that. You know, they sacrificed a great deal for their country, and then their country didn't want them back. And these guys are just, you know, they got no lives basically that they can't rebuild their lives after their experience in the war.
But it's one of the stupidest things I've ever read. And this plot.
Okay.
And, you know, and I've read, and mind you, I've read about super apes saving the earth and Jungle Twins. So, I've read some stupid
But those were really fun comics.
They were fun. But they were super fun.
That one with the super apes saving the world was great.
Yes. I agree. All right, they have the money to get all these futuristic weapons, and they don't have the money to buy plastic surgery. And the idea you're going to kidnap your sister, and with loaded guns.
Yeah.
And why not just tell her, or why not write a letter to the editor, or do something besides kidnap someone, and they get one themselves killed, and they almost get their, they're going to the swamp, and the girl runs in the swamps. Swamps are dangerous places. You got swamp things and gators and all kinds of things. And Man-Things. So
and Man-Things, oh my.
What is worse? Has Swamp Thing ever fought Man-Thing?
Oh, they've never done an intercompany
should.
crossover with them.
They probably never will for a while.
Yeah, and Man-Thing, unfortunately, is not. He's not in current use, I'll say, at Marvel.
Yeah, and he's not hugely. He's never been that hugely popular.
Well, I mean, in the '70s, there was a time when Man-Thing was a popular character. Swamp Thing definitely overtook him in popularity, particularly in the '80s when Alan Moore was writing the book. And that's some pretty esoteric stuff. But anyway, we've got, I think, is it just one more issue of Man-Thing? And it is number... Is it 18? Yeah. Man-Thing number 18. And the story is School's Out. Written by Steve Gerber with art by the great Jim Mooney.
Yeah, School's Out from...
They're in Citrusville.
Yeah, from
Florida.
the Alice Cooper album.
Yeah.
So this woman, Olivia Selby, in the Mad Viking.
Yeah, there's this big Viking guy. I don't know where this guy came from.
Well, I mean, Vikings aren't known for
censorship.
And
but this guy's a big macho ape, and I think that's
he's somebody's grandfather. He looks, I wish I was in his age now. So I mean, I'm not his shape. He's huge, with really super muscular.
For an old guy, he's really cut. Yeah. So there's like a campaign against filth and bad books that they want to.
Was this caused by some other thing, or were they just turning out crazy, or
I don't know. I think it's speaking about some kinds of hysteric that's going on at the time. So one thing we do know, in the previous issue, some people had destroyed, quote unquote, the Man-Thing, and throughout this issue, he's kind of struggling to reconstitute himself, or he's reconstituting.
Luckily, the water is polluted, so he can.
Yeah, but as this is going, Richard Rory gets involved in this, trying to stop the madness that's sweeping this town over the censorship and crap. Thinking that just literature is poisoning youth with communist ideas or something like that. And
Richard Rory, he shows up. Man, what a downer dude! And I lost my girlfriend or something like that, and he sees people die. And he has no superpower except maybe emo power.
Oh man, you're really down on him.
Oh man, he's boring and not interesting. He's trying to be hip, but he's kind of, I don't know. Sort of.
I think that he is created to be a typical youth of the time.
Man, I lived during these times, and I hated youth.
Wow.
I was a youth at the time, and I sucked. And everyone else did, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else you want?
Yeah, Grandpa gets angry, and he kills his granddaughter. And he doesn't care.
Yeah, which is awful. He is just like this Mr. Macho, and he's a clod.
Well, now Man-Thing is like Mr. Bubble here, and he sees the Mad Viking, and then they fight. But okay, so conservative Christian believing church people are going to follow a guy in a loincloth and horn helmet, and something else is going on. Aliens did something, I don't know.
Sure.
But so the Mr. Bubble thing, Man-Thing, attacks
the Mad
Viking and transfer the bubbles.
And the Mad Viking is disintegrated. He's burned because everything that knows fear burns at the Man-Thing's touch, if you remember.
Well, then that's everybody.
Well,
what doesn't know fear?
Well, if they're afraid of the Man-Thing.
Now, who wouldn't be?
Well, people who realize he's not a malevolent force, that he's...
I'd still be afraid of making him mad.
I don't know. Well, he doesn't, because he doesn't get mad. Remember, he's an emotional sensitive. He doesn't necessarily...
Well, how am I supposed to know? Does he have a card?
No, but we've read Man-Thing before.
Yeah.
He picks up the emotional vibes of others. He's kind of... Again, he's more of a thing than a man. Okay?
Yeah. But to kill everything that has fear... I don't know. You killed Chuck Norris.
Okay.
And,
I have a feeling this is lost on you. Okay.
yeah.
So everything ends sadly, but the Viking dies, and so that's kind of good.
Yeah, it's... Okay. I don't know. Okay. Underwhelmed.
Okay. So next we've got to talk about Marvel Chillers #2, and the story is Of Magic and Madness, written by Bill Mantlo, with art by Sonny Trinidad. And this is about Modred the Mystic. And if you ever saw Excalibur or read Mort d'Arthur, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Mort d'Arthur, yeah.
Yeah, Mort was the incesty offspring of King Arthur and what the heck was his sister's name? Helen Mirren?
Oh,
Morgan Le Fay.
Morgan Le Fay.
And anyway, but in this he's not like Estacada, like he's not like a hillbilly, like half retard, like you would think someone who was, product of incest would be. He's this handsome guy with white hair, and he's like a wizard.
Product of incest. I mean, it's not like 100%. It's like 10% chance. So.
And actually, no, I knew a guy who lived in Estacada, and his parents literally were brother and sister.
Wow.
It was an abuse situation, but man, this guy was weird looking.
Oh.
So you'll have goofy looking kids, I'll tell you that. And Mordred isn't goofy looking, but it's science fiction. It's comic books. So
it didn't help the pharaohs. They were married brother and sister all the time, and they had a lot of weak ones until.
Well, yeah.
Cleopatra the Seventh, I think.
Sure.
The one we know.
Oh, okay.
So I like. I misspelled his name. It's Modred, not Mordred.
I know. I don't.
Is that so? Is it somebody new, or is
no? Modred is how it's said in. I think in the King.
Mordred.
I know Mordred just sounds better. I don't know why it's called Modred. I don't like that. But I don't know that this is in the comic book version really has any connection to King Arthur. Except no.
It has Merlin.
Oh yeah. So yes, it does. It has Merlin. So anyway, what happens? He gets sent to our time or something. Or
he doesn't like it one bit.
Yeah.
He's all confused about it, and
he's casting all kinds of spells and magic and stuff everywhere.
Shot. Oh, and he imagines the Londoners, the London Bobbies, as huge monsters and all. So
yeah,
but so he's got these friends in a VW Microdot bus.
Of course,
and they show it as a VW, which is interesting. They normally do not show.
Brands and stuff.
And all.
You're right, but I don't know. This one slipped through.
It's happened. It's all happening in England, which is interesting. I mean, I wonder if it's English. I don't know who made this.
Well, I think it's because he was trapped in this cave in England, and so that's why he's so. When they found him and released him from the spell or whatever. They're in England, so that's why the setting is there.
So there's this one girl, Janice, who looks like Janice that he knew way back when.
Right, and which is kind of a trope that you've seen before. A guy from the far-flung past comes back into the future, into a future time, and meets a girl who looks exactly like the girl he loved and lost centuries ago. Yeah. It was in The Mummy,
Right, and, Merlin, Modred gets sick or something like that, and so Merlin puts him to sleep until he's healed. And, of course, he's healed in the 20th century.
Yeah.
Oh, he meets this guy, the Other, which is kind of cool. He's in a white ball of fire.
Yeah.
And blows up the VW. And they fight. And Modred wins, but he doesn't kill him. But then they have more adventures. I don't know if they do or not. I never heard of this.
I've seen Mordred pop up here and there in Marvel Comics, but not often. He's a very minor character.
Yeah.
But, this is Marvel Chillers or Marvel Premiere or... different books like that. They were intended to kind of test out a new idea and see if people were going to go for it. And then if people were into it, give them their own book. A lot of those characters did not take off. I think Mordred is another one. Is one of those. But he's made maybe a dozen appearances like in his entire
career. I'm not
career.
a big Magic fan. It's sort of they always change the rules and then they make up a new rule about Magic, and you don't know what's going on.
I think Magic is like the easiest to just have like a cop-out plot device because it's all it's the most made up thing, you know.
You can understand the Fantastic Four's weaknesses and limitations.
Sure,
and so we have a grasp of it. Magic is sort of so
well, and if they
nebulous.
But even if the Fantastic Four, for example, like, here's our Deus Ex Machina, we need Reed to build this invention and it'll stop Galactus or whatever. That works. I'm like, okay, because I know that Reed could build something to stop a supervillain or whatever. But Magic, it's just like, it was because I cast this other spell. I'm like, okay. You can always just magically do anything.
Yeah.
You know?
It doesn't have to be magic. Star Trek Next Generation, they would always do something with the core and then fix something, and it was really annoying. But if I do this, Captain, I can solve the problem, and no one will be hurt. Okay. All right.
So, we've got one more comic to talk about today, and it's Mighty Samson, number 16, from Gold Key Comics.
I like Mighty Samson.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Before you get rolling, let me start the credits. The lead story is called The Smoky Realm, and it's written by Otto Binder with art by Jack Sparling, and they did the whole series.
Why does Otto Binder sound familiar?
Otto Binder wrote lots of science fiction short stories and many comic book stories in the Silver Age, and I think the latter part of the Golden Age as well. He wrote some science fiction stories with his brother Earl. They became Eondo Binder and wrote a lot of the science fiction stories at EC Comics. And Otto Binder wrote many of the classic Silver Age Superman stories.
Okay.
So you've read stuff by Otto Binder, and we will probably again very soon. Yeah.
All right. Well, this one really well drawn. Interesting colors. It doesn't look like It doesn't look like DC or Marvel, which is kind of cool, but it doesn't look like a cheap ripoff either.
Yeah. No. Gold Key definitely had their own look. Yeah.
Oh well, we see Mighty Samson's pad. And he uses a bathtub as a sink.
Yeah.
And he has this big Civil War picture, and he has no idea. He thought it was pretty.
Yeah.
He lives in a treehouse, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
Mighty Samson, he's a post-apocalyptic strongman. That's all you need to know to get in. And he has all these adventures in like the ruins of human civilization.
New York.
New York.
Yeah, or whatever.
And there's all kinds of mutants and monsters and crazy
really
crap.
Well drawn, really. So this guy throws a spear, and it's, oh my gosh, we're being attacked. But no, they're sending a calling card, literally. Hey, we need your help. So they send a spear up for crying out.
And so Samson goes to help these folks that live underground, and they're albinos because they're being attacked by this rival tribe of jerks.
They're called the Gnarly Ones.
Gnarly.
Oh man! And they go down to Rockefeller Center, and the Gnarly Ones are being mean and nasty. And they're getting kicked out because they got so much smoke going on. So
because their air conditioning stopped working.
Yeah, so the entire thing is fixed by air conditioner repairman.
But in the meantime, Mighty Samson fights like this dragon or this monster.
That's kind of cool.
And in the middle of the comic, in every issue of Mighty Samson, there's a part one to the lead story, and then we get interrupted by a story of Tom Tomorrow, who is this telepathic kid with
Tom Morrow.
Oh, is it? Excuse me, Tom Morrow. Thank you. He's this kid also from the future. I don't know if he lives in the same world as Mighty Samson or if he lives.
That doesn't look like it.
But it could be on the other side of the world. We don't know. Mm-hmm. But most Gold Key books say if all of their characters are different things, they did not. There was one uniform thing about Gold Key is their adventure stories. None of them interconnected with other adventure stories. So I mean, Turok or Magnus Robot Fighter or Dr. Solar, the Man of the Atom, they never met each other in the Silver Age.
Yeah. They have a little interesting story about the city of Ur, where Abraham comes
a text story, yeah.
Text, yeah, and pretty cool. I like kind of these things, and it's just filler, but it was cool filler.
Yeah. But in Tom Morrow's story, also written by Otto Binder with the art by Jack Sparling, it's the 90-minute menace, and what does Tom Morrow have to?
Oh, every 90 minutes something bad happens.
Right.
And
what kind of bad things?
And all this, but it looks kind of Tom Morrow is like Green Lantern, but he's gray. He can construct stuff out of his ring.
Does he? I thought it was he's using telekinesis to like move objects. See, he's ripping off the dome of something with his mind.
Is he?
Yeah.
But look at this.
He's lifting some other object.
With a huge. Does that exist? This huge
claw thing? I don't know.
I thought he made him up or something. I don't
know. I don't really have an answer for a 4-page story.
Okay. Oh, you need to get on it, man.
Oh, man.
This is important.
You could have looked it up, too.
Yeah, I guess I could have. It is cool. Orbit Bomb 88, which is causing all the problems. When the space nuclear bombs are wrecked civilization, although their civilization looks okay.
Well, where Tom Morrow lives, this is a city that was either untouched or that rebuilt themselves in this post-apocalyptic time.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just wondering why they didn't. So it's rotating and it's sending out a beam, and so every 90 minutes it comes around the Earth and hits Ultra City. They didn't notice this before. Why is it starting now?
I don't know. Maybe it broke down after a certain period or something. Okay. All right. He created something out of his mind. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, Tom Morrow solves the problem. Yeah. I don't think those are that interesting, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't like the drawing style.
It's the same artist. Same artist. It's Jack Sparling. Yeah.
The face, everything. The faces look like Gerber babies.
Here's the thing. One thing that kind of is a drawback of Gold Key comics are they had lower page rates than the larger comic houses or the main comic houses, Marvel and DC. And so a lot of times artists, it's like, okay, we're kind of sparse on backgrounds and other details and things, and just kind of rush through it because you're not getting paid as well. So yeah, I mean,
they're not going to work as hard on something that they get paid as well.
Well, yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons that Charlton Comics is kind of crap.
Mm-hmm.
They have some good stuff, but a lot of it's really poor, not well done comics in all aspects of it.
It takes time to do quality.
It does, and Charlton, I think, paid the lowest rates in the industry at the time, and it shows. Boy. But there are some really fun Charlton comics, which we'll look at.
There have been some small comic book companies that put out some really quality stuff, and they still failed.
Sure.
And it's just interesting why.
Well, the thing is,
Charlton was around for decades.
Yeah, they were. They were around for almost 50 years. I think 40 or 50 years. But and Gold Key, Dell and Gold Key, they were around for even longer or just as long.
And Dell became a computer company.
No, it's a different thing.
No.
But
that'd be hilarious if that happened.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the difference between Marvel and DC, they're trying to create high quality entertainment in the comic book form, whereas Dell/Gold Key and Charlton, they're kind of junk dealers. They're creating comics, but they're thinking this is just for kids and who cares? And going with that kind of mentality, you might accidentally create some cool comics, which they have done. But by and large, they're junk dealers.
So how do they survive? Grandma, oh, you want some comic books? Here's some
Yeah.
comic
Oh,
books.
good. This is based on some Disney characters or whatever, because they did a lot of licensed properties, and there was a lot of money in that, and those comics
I don't know,
sold.
an 8-year-old might really enjoy this more than we can.
Yeah.
Although,
And one of the best things that came out from Dell and Gold Key were those Donald Duck comics, which are wonderful.
oh yeah, Carl Banks.
Carl Barks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barks, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are really terrific comic books. Again,
Mr. Banks.
in the
In the
Mary
new movie.
Poppins.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah.
At the new movie's coming out, that's what it is.
Right.
But
I
like Carl Barks. So he's good.
oh yeah, no, and I love that. And I would just avoid any funny animal comics, but those Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge stuff, those are great. There's great stories in those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a big chunk of the marketplace at the time that was, yes, geared towards small children. And
and too bad it's not the same way too. And I can appreciate this. The writing is not great, but the drawing is wonderful, and it's fairly inventive, and
Sure.
I enjoy them. That's sort of.
sure,
It's not.
a post-apocalyptic world, I think there's a lot of fun things you can play with in a science fiction story.
Yeah.
So, but we get, in the second part of this Samson story, what happens, Jeff?
Well, the gnarly men find out that hey, there's all this stuff outside, so they come from their subterranean lair and start taking off, and they're trying to take over everything. So, Samson gets his army together, and they get ambushed by them. So Samson's army runs away. So he goes and gets this big old alligator.
Yeah, there's a big mutant alligator. It's huge.
So he got a bit slow, but almost kicks Samson's butt. So they he shows it to the gnarly men, and they run away.
Right.
So he goes down, and what is there's atomic batteries that fell over. So he fixed that for the air conditioning, and then some other stuff needs to be fixed because they ran out of the what is this called, the cool air of something or another.
Right. There was an air filtration and air conditioning that was helping these gnarly men. Like, oh, cool, we have fresh air going into wherever they lived. But the machines broke down, and so they were venturing out of their place because it was becoming unlivable.
Right.
It's kind of a flimsy plot, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Samson fights this weird dragon thing that's down there. Looks like he throws a septic tank at it.
Great Magic Breeze, that's the name of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is, I could have thought of something better than that. I wish I could write for comics. I don't know. Would I be a disaster? Probably. But it'd be fun to try.
It would be fun to try.
But I wouldn't want to touch anybody. I wouldn't want to touch an existing character because it's such a history, and I'd be
but the thing is, if you want to break into the
catch
impossible. Here's the thing. No, but if you're going to break into writing for comics, they want you to see what you can do playing with their toys.
I see.
So you've got to be able to try and write those characters.
Well, I'm not going to, so the answer is moot. But I wouldn't want to, because God, you have to do so much research, and you can't have Spider-Man using Brill cream or something.
Why would Spider-Man
something or something like that? They got mad at Daredevil. They got mad at Batman using a gun one time or something. Or was it Daredevil?
I don't know.
I think
I think Frank Miller wrote a story where Daredevil was carrying a gun for something.
It was controversial or something
right.
like that. So
I
don't want to make comic book nerds mad.
Oh, you want to be an angry comic book nerd yourself?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jeff, what did we learn today?
Oh. Richard Worry's blows.
Man.
He is a blot upon comicdom.
Wow, I think he's fine. He doesn't bother me. And I enjoy Steve Gerber's, timely kind of allegories that he tried to create in the 70s.
Yeah, I hate the 70s so much.
Sorry.
Oh, they're so... Well, you didn't live through them. They were awful.
Okay.
Oh,
well, I lived through the 90s, and they were awful.
No, you have no idea.
Oh, I hated them. But
you didn't have to wear polyester. because there's nothing else to wear. Either that or go naked. You had to wear polyester. you had to,
That's an interesting set of options.
Yeah.
But
man, and TV was awful. Well, there's some good TV. There's a lot of bad, and there's only 3 channels, so you can get away from it.
Oh man, you can escape into the world of books or moving pictures.
Yeah, that's true too. But no internet. I don't know. So
yeah. So yeah. So Mighty Samson is a hit with you though.
I like him.
Cool.
He's okay.
Cool.
It's not great. It's not.
It's nothing earth-shattering. It really is, because every story is just, it's so episodic. There's no saga of Mighty Samson. It's here's the setting, and each issue is another story in that setting.
It's for 8-year-olds, and
sure.
And I can understand and relate to something written for below my mental range.
All right, and it's okay.
And,
I mean,
yeah, and I can. I like children's literature. It's just.
Well, and if it captures, a young reader's imagination, then the battle is won.
Right.
Because the idea is to, continue and expand literacy. So, I mean...
And we had the thing on the city of and the back has Dinosauria, the plesiosaur, which is one of my favorite dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's just kind of an in-house filler. Yeah. And you'll see those in a lot of Gold Key comics. No.
They could just put an advertisement thing in there and read more Gold Key comics. But
yeah. So,
right.
So you want to call that a wrap then for this week? All right. This has been Comic Reflections. Thanks for listening.